Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously, out of YouTube jail, thank God. I got my appeal granted about 10:18 last night. I put it over my community tab. I about jumped out of my chair because I just wasn't sure if they were gonna grant another appeal, but they did. So here I am. A couple things for that, and before I get started in today's video, I am going to probably this month, if not this month, then the first week of December. I am going to do another giveaway, just appreciation for my community, my subs, all you guys. I'm going to do, these are my tumblers. I'm going to do a drawing like how I did with the shirt, and I'll do the, I'll put everything goes into a, random draw name thing. And of course, it doesn't matter if you put more than one comment in there when I go to do it. It still filters out by, each sub gets one thing that puts a comment. So I will end up doing that. I'll let y'all know. It'll be in my community tab when I'm going to do it for one of my tumblers, a giveaway for you guys. So today's video, which is what I was going to do yesterday, and the idea why I figured I better do it is I don't know, last week, 2 weeks, I don't even remember. I was over in Alive hanging out on Mayhem Country Living, Darren. He's a goofball. If y'all don't know him, go check out his channel. And something came up, was talking about him and his wife were thinking about doing fermented chicken feed, and I encouraged that. So I was like, oh, let me talk about that, especially as we're coming into winter. I encourage, if you haven't, I think it's a great idea, has many benefits, which I'll go over, is, I do it in a rotation. Some people only do it that way, and it cuts back on your feed because you don't have to feed them as much when you give them fermented feed, and, different benefits. So let's talk about that. I do it in rotations, especially through the winter. I just think it helps them more through the winter. It keeps mine laying through the winter. So do what's best for you. So it is best to use feed in its natural form, whether it's the seeds, and it'll have like lentils and crack different pieces of corn in it, so on, or whatever. That works the best. Okay, I've heard people doing the pellets or granule. I personally have not. I do in natural form. There's different ways. So this hot mess, you just take a jar. Depends on how much you want to do, how many birds you have, because you don't have to feed them as much. You know me and I don't do measurements because I just don't, hardly anything. You just put seed. You just put the feed that you have. This is really expanded. I don't know. I probably did up to here, just the raw feed. You put good filtered water, at least an inch over the top of the seed. You're going to stir it. Even though this is just water, when I ferment anything, I just always recommend using a wooden or plastic utensil to stir that up. You get the water in there, stir it up really good. You're going to see, like, I have floaters. These are the black sunflower seeds. Sometimes they'll do that. And you're gonna let this, when you first initially start it, you're gonna let it sit like 10 hours or so, 10, 12 hours. It's not an exact, whatever. Same with my measurements. So if you do it in the morning, then do it, then stir it up before you go to bed, or if you do it right before bed, let it sit overnight and do it. After that 10 hours or so, stir it up really good with your utensil. And also you have to have a fermenting lid or cheesecloth with a rubber band, something like that. It needs to breathe, okay? And then after that initial stir, after those first 10 to 12 hours, you're going to again take that off, stir it up. I say 3 times a day. I do mine because I have black sunflower seed in my feed. You'll get floaters like this, and like anything that you can ferment, you want everything to stay underneath the water line, because you could get mold that way. So I stir mine 3 times a day because I have floaters, because of these type of seeds that are in here. You want to keep the water, I say, an inch above, where the top of the more solids are. And if it absorbs, especially after that first 10, 12 hours, it may go down a lot when it first starts absorbing that. And just add a little bit more, just make sure you have about an inch over top of it. So you're going to do that process, stirring it 3 times a day for about 5 days, and you'll see it, and you're going to see it's going to do that fermenting thing. You're going to see the bubbles and all that stuff. You may have that sourdough, starter smell to it. Know the difference in that than if something smells like it's gone rancid. Okay, always train yourself to know what's good and bad smells. Even if something's a good, it's like that kind of stinks, but it's a good stink versus something's gone rancid. Okay, you have to learn how those are. And then you can, when it's done, you can strain off the rest of the water if there's any left, and you feed that to them. You don't have to feed them as much, but it's fantastic for their immune system. It is a wonderful probiotic for them. And because, birds, poultry, all this stuff, they just dig and eat and whatever out of the ground and different things, probiotics are needed for their GI health. It's going to help in their egg production and the quality of their eggs. Okay, wonderful for that. That's why I also recommend, if you're not going to do it all the time or rotate, make sure you get it in more through the winter months. That's just my opinion. And it's easier, it's easier for them to digest. Now, like even with my dry, just feed I give them, often with this, when I strain this, I will throw some herbs, cayenne pepper, some minced garlic, different things like that. I will throw that in there and mix it up before I give it to them, because it has all those different benefits, and they they get that in. Cayenne pepper is wonderful for your birds. Chickens cannot taste things that are hot. So something like, oh, that's so hot, I can't eat hot peppers, anything. They can't taste hot things. It doesn't bother them. And cayenne pepper is another really good one to make sure you get in through the winter, because that will help their egg production as well. So, get that in there. And anything, it's that powder form, like when I give them diatomaceous earth, and I mix it in something, especially if it's a fermented food, because you don't want your birds inhaling that. They're very sensitive to respiratory issues anyways. Poultry just is. So I just highly recommend fermenting your chicken feed. You can do rotations of that. And through the winter, I think it just gives them a little extra, especially if you live somewhere it gets colder. I just think it just helps them more to get through that, and it helps their egg production, because my birds lay all year. But I give, I do not do artificial lighting. I feel like they need that natural, how the earth and everything's working through its seasons. I do give them this. I give them, and I make sure it has black sunflower seed or black sunflower seed oil. That'll help. The cayenne pepper helps, and they're not stressed out. They don't go through this weird molting and everything. But that's up to you. Something else I hope helps you guys. Everyone stay well. God bless, and I will see you next time.